Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be going over all of the movies I've watched this week. So that's going to be from May 19th through May 26th. And I'm going to tell you what I rated them, give you a little bit of maybe a synopsis and why I like them or why I did not like them. I don't have every single one of them on DVD. I did watch a couple on streaming, but most of them I do own. So I'm just gonna get right to it. Let's do this. We're gonna start from the best and then go down to the very worst, which I did watch some pretty stinky movies this week. Just a couple of them were really bad, but the top movie of my week was Hereditary. I gave it a 5 out of 5. I've seen this movie a couple times, but I just love Hereditary. It is so rewatchable, and it never fails to get my blood pumping. I'm always on the edge of my seat. I'm always sitting there at the end like, oh my gosh, I know what's gonna happen, but I can't help but getting goosebumps, especially when the like plot twist happens kind of right in the beginning-ish of the movie. Great plot twist. Highly recommend watching Hereditary. I know some people think it's overhyped, but I love Ari Aster. I love Toni Collette. She did such a good job. So I highly recommend watching it if you haven't seen it already. It's always going to be on my top favorite movies. Definitely watch that. I wanted to rewatch it because it kind of pertains to my life now in some ways, just like grief. So I was like, you know, I want to rewatch this because who doesn't want to relate to something sometimes? So, so I rewatched it, and that's kind of how that went. Definitely really good. 5 out of 5. It's pretty disturbing. I would say maybe like a 4.5 out of 5. I say that just because there's like children involved, and that just always makes it more disturbing. So yeah, go check that out if you haven't seen it. The next on my list is I rewatched The Crow, which I do own this. The Crow. I love this movie. It is so good. There are so many reasons why I love this movie. The atmosphere it creates, it's just kind of like no other. There's no other gothic atmosphere like they create in this movie. And there's a lot of reasons why it has that atmosphere. Besides just the director's choice of filming literally only at night, there's some really sad things that went on behind the scenes of this movie. Brandon Lee literally died on set, it's a whole thing. So it's really sad. He got shot on set by a prop. So there's a lot of reasons, I think, why this movie has the ambiance it does. And it's really ironic because the whole premise of the movie is Eric Draven, his girlfriend Shelley gets assaulted, raped, and killed. And then he falls out the window and dies in his apartment. And he comes back to life to avenge his beloved. That's the whole premise of the movie. So it feels really ironic that the actor is actually dead. So when you watch the movie, you're like, I'm actually watching a dead person basically being a ghost. It just has it adds a whole ambience to it. So, and of course it's a very sad story. The man who shot him on set never really recovered from what happened. So next is actually going to be Demons. So I don't know how you feel about Italian horror movies, but I really like Italian horror movies. Some of them I'm not the biggest fan of, but I do really like watching them because they have this essence to them that's very hard to create in anything else, and they have this vibe that is outstanding from everything else out there in the horror industry and movies. So Demons is fantastic. It has great practical effects. It's an 80s movie. And I also watched the second one too, which I didn't actually even know existed until I posted a video of me doing a short review on this on TikTok, and everyone was like, have you seen Demons 2? Have you seen Demons 2? I was like, I didn't even know that was a thing. So I don't know why I had no idea that Demons 2 never existed until I posted it, which I'm great. I'm so glad that I got recommended that because Demons 2 is just as good as the first one. So the premise of the movie is just about, it's kind of like zombies, I guess you could say, you get infected and you become this demon monster and you are on the hunt for blood. So in the first movie, you get this set where people get a free movie ticket to go see a film at this theater that was renovated. And they have no idea how wrong it's going to go. And they get trapped in the theater. A zombie demon thing breaks loose and gets nasty. And that's the premise of the first movie. The second movie, it's not like a right after the first movie sort of thing. It's kind of adjacent. It's its own thing. So it feels very like it's maybe in the same universe or a parallel universe or an alternate universe. You could kind of interpret it as you will, but I don't think it's directly tied to the ending of this movie, at least. You know how some sequels, they'll literally start right where the last movie ended? This movie doesn't do that. Demons 2 does not do that. So some of the same actors that died in the first movie are in the second one as different people. So it's just as fun as the first movie. Still really great practical effects, the same ambiance. The only thing that I would really criticize the second movie is that the soundtrack is not quite as good, just because I love Goblin. Claudio Simonetti, keyboardist of Goblin, created the soundtrack for this movie, and someone else did the soundtrack of Demons 2. It doesn't not fit the vibe of the movie, it's just not quite as good. That's just my opinion. But honestly, like, Demons 2, just as good as the first one. So I highly recommend watching both. Definitely on the top of the list of the movies I watched this week for sure. Okay, Poltergeist. So Poltergeist I gave a 4 out of 5 on Letterboxd. I think this movie's really fun. And I also wanted to rewatch it because I was watching the Paranormal Activity movies. Like, you know, I just feel like they just drag a lot of things from Poltergeist, which is this movie. If this movie wasn't made, a lot of ghost and haunting movies would not be the same. So there's just so much influence from this film. So I think everyone should watch it at least once. Yeah, I really wanted to rewatch this. I'm really glad I did because I hadn't seen it since like high school. So I only remembered like little bits here and there. It's really fun. Practical effects are great. It really just plays on over-exaggerating fears that humans have around ghosts and poltergeists and hauntings. So I actually recommend, if you have a disc version, watching the special features that come with it, because it was actually really fun to watch those. It explained a lot of cool things about like ghosts, and they took a lot of influence from people that actually deal with ghosts in real life and are like ghost hunters and all that sort of stuff. So it was really fun to learn about that as well. I knew some already about that because I'm just interested in it, and I'm just always interested in what people think about ghosts. Like, do you believe they're real? Do you not believe they're real? I don't know. It's such a gray area because science can only do so much. So with predicting and tracking ghosts. So yeah, great movie. Definitely on the top of the list. So next, this is also a really good film. Sinister. I recently just bought this because I was thinking about it the other day. And I was like, I really like this movie. I should just own it because Ethan Hawke, I really like him, and it's spooky, it's fun. There's definitely a like originality aspect to it. I don't think I've really seen too many other movies like it. So I really liked this movie when it came out, and I still like it today. I gave it a 3.5 on Letterboxd. My favorite part of the movie is definitely the like snuff films that Ethan Hawke's character finds and watches that are like the curse that continues throughout the two movies. Yeah, I recommend watching this. It's a fun time. It's spooky. There is some cheesy elements, so it's not perfect by any means, but this movie is a lot better than the second one, which I'll go over. It's farther down the list. The second one is just not as good. So yeah, Sinister, definitely worth it, and on the middle higher end of the list of the stuff that I watched this week. Up next is actually Alien Romulus. The Alien movies are up for debate. I think everyone agrees that Alien and Aliens are probably some of the best movies ever made. I don't really know anybody that doesn't like those movies, but then it kind of, from there, from like Aliens 3 on, it just kind of gets like, there's so much debate. So I personally actually liked Alien Romulus. I gave it a 3.5 out of 5. So that's like it's a solid movie. Like, I thought it was fun. It felt more like an Alien movie than the prequels that were released to me. I think that, you know, there was a lot of fun effects and the story fit in with how the Alien universe works. I mean, there was some plot holes, and maybe I just missed this part in the movie, but there's a part where, I don't want to spoil too much, but they bring back a certain synthetic life form from one of the previous movies, because this movie is supposed to be set after the first Alien movie. So they bring back a synthetic from the first Alien movie, and I was a little confused on how he got there. Maybe I missed how he got there in the story, but that was really the biggest plot hole that I could think of. I was just like, how did he get on this ship? But I don't know. Maybe I missed something. Let me know if I did. But I had a fun time, and the ending of this movie, I really liked the like special alien monster. It's not any more disturbing or less disturbing than the other Alien movies. It's just as gory. So yeah, no, good time. Definitely glad I watched it. I should have gone to see it in theaters, but I ended up not, so that's okay. Pieces is an 80s slasher grindhouse. It's an exploit film. It exploits the content of the film. I didn't have a bad time watching it, but I think it really only banks on the shock value, because there's just a lot of murdering of women. That's really the whole premise of the movie. The plot, there's just not really much of a plot, besides there's just this kind of deranged psycho, and you're trying to figure out who it is, but it's pretty obvious who the psycho is. It's a Spanish movie, so that's kind of fun. I really like foreign horror. It's really strange because it's like a double dub, I think. I don't know how it works exactly, but I do know that a lot of foreign films will film a movie and then film a recording of them talking and put it over it, even though they're still talking in the movie. It's just not their original soundtrack. I think they do that to hear it better, but it creates this interesting atmosphere to movies that are in a lot of foreign horror movies. A lot of Italian horror movies too do the same thing. But it's not a bad thing, it's just weird. But yeah, Pieces, I gave a 2.5 on Letterboxd. I don't think it's the best movie out there, but it's not like I didn't have a fun time watching it, because I do like watching things just to be disturbed sometimes, especially because it's kind of hard to do nowadays. Since I've watched so many horror movies, it's hard to find something that actually like gets to me. You kind of become desensitized after a while, unfortunately. No, Pieces, I think it's worth watching at least once if you want to watch a slasher movie. I don't dislike slasher movies, so yeah, I think you should watch it if you're into that sort of thing, but be forewarned, it's so simple. And that's not a bad thing if that's kind of what you want. You just kind of want some mindless slashing. So yeah, that's Pieces. A Haunted House 1 and 2. I gave A Haunted House a 3 and A Haunted House 2 a 2.5. This movie is really silly and fun and over the top. It's not like technically good, but it's not supposed to be taken seriously, and it's not taking itself seriously in any way how like the Alien prequels are taking it seriously. This movie is just a good time. It made me laugh. There's some jokes that didn't hit, but that's to be expected. You're not gonna laugh at every single joke that they make, because they make so many. It's like the whole movie is just a joke. So it's silly, it's goofy. I wasn't mad about watching them. Are they technically good? No. So, you know, it's by the Wayans brothers. This guy here specifically, he is in A Scary Movie and White Chicks. They're just like co-creators of they bring the ideas to the table for these parody movies of horror movies. And they're just fun. Like, I love the movies that they base these off of, and there's just a lot of silly content in it that is engaging, and it makes you laugh. So, you know, just take that as it is. It's not supposed to be serious. It's just supposed to be goofy. I think my favorite part of both of them is the possession parodies that they have. Just super silly. So yeah, go watch it if you want to have a fun time, if you want to laugh, if you want to just kind of have something that's not going to be super serious, then these are the movies for you. Next on my list is going to be Prometheus. This is where we get some more controversial talk. Prometheus, a lot of people really like this movie. I don't really like this movie. I think it just creates so many more questions than answers. I like this movie more than Covenant. A lot of people really like both and think they're essential to the Alien franchise. I feel like this movie would be good if it was just like its own thing. Like, it was disconnected, completely disconnected from the Alien franchise. A week ago, I watched all the Alien movies in one sitting, like Alien 1 through 4. The first one through Resurrection. And then I watched these with my friend who'd never seen them, which is always fun to show your friends something they haven't seen that you love. So I don't know, there's just something about this movie. I really like the editing, and like the music is good, and I don't think the acting is bad either. I mean, Charlize Theron is in this movie, and I love her. She's in Mad Max, Fury Road, which I love that movie. So it's like, there's not bad acting in this movie. It's just that the content and the script just felt weird. What the Alien is based off of is a chemical weapon that they find, basically. It gets made into the Alien that we have now, but the chemical weapon to me feels more advanced than the created version of the Alien, of the xenomorphs. So it just doesn't really feel like it makes sense to me. I mean, if you love the Alien movies, you should definitely watch it and create your own opinion about the movie, because a lot of people really do like this movie, and I think the first time I watched it, I liked it a lot more than now. That's just me. So yeah, Prometheus, interesting, not the best. Next on my list is Sinister 2. Like I said, I watched Sinister 1 and Sinister 2, or Sinister and then Sinister 2. This movie I don't like. I think it sucks because I wanted to like this movie, and I hadn't seen it before, so I was excited to watch it, and I didn't look up really anything about it before seeing it, and I probably should have seen it when it came out, but maybe I had, but I don't remember. That's how forgettable this movie is. It is just not very memorable, and that's the thing with sequels that sucks, is sometimes it's really hard to create a movie with the same awe factor again. Like, you have to come at it with a new lens, and it tried to do that, but it just missed so many marks, in my opinion. And a lot of people agree with that. Some people think it's not as bad as others, but I just didn't like this movie. It had a lot of potential. Kind of squashed it with the story that they made to go with the second movie. It's a continuation of the first movie, but the acting's not very good, the script is not very good, and they bank really hard on making these kids like super scary, and they just don't look that scary. Like, there's a couple jump scares that got me, but I'm prone to jump scares, and the first one gets me with the jump scares too, but I think it only got me like once in this movie. The rest of them were just so over the top and cheesy, and it just felt stupid, and I just didn't like how the continuation was. This movie actually did horrible in the box office and squashed the continuation of the Sinister franchise, which could have been kind of fun. It could have been a whole series, kind of like Saw, or really any of the newer series, which are hard to make because there's so many classic 80s series of movies that continue for like 10 movies, and some of them are really bad, some of them are really good. But after those like classics came out, it's kind of hard to recreate a new series. An example of one that's doing really good so far is the Smile movies. The first one was really good, and the second one was honestly even better. So it can be done, but it wasn't it. So not good. The next movie is The Pope's Exorcist. The only reason I watched this movie was because my two best friends watched it in theaters, and I didn't go with them. This is years ago, and I was just like, I just gotta see this movie. I know both of you told me it was horrible, but I gotta watch it. And it was on, I think, like Hulu or something. So I don't own it. I will never own it. I really did not like this movie. I gave it a 1.5. Like, some people thought it was original and fun, and there is some really funny aspects. It made me laugh, so I didn't give it like half a star because of that. I would have given it half a star if it hadn't made me laugh. But it's just so over-exaggerated version of a possession movie, and I really like possession movies, so it sucks that it just felt completely ridiculous. It felt completely ridiculous. It felt redundant in my opinion, and just the haunts and the scares were just so silly. It was just so comical. So I guess if you could take this movie and not be serious with it, then maybe I'd give it a higher rating, but I just kind of knew going in that I probably wasn't gonna like it, so that probably tainted my review a little bit. My favorite part of the movie was towards the end. I don't really want to spoil it, just in case you do want to watch it and experience it for yourself, but towards the end it just gets so goofy, and there's two priests that are like battling this demon, and things happen, and yeah, the ending was fun. I think that's why I didn't give it a 1.5, is because it made me laugh and that the ending was fun. Or why I didn't give it a half star. I didn't give it a half star because the ending was fun and it made me laugh. So, Pope's Exorcist, don't really recommend it. And then the last movie on my list is Alien Covenant. I just don't like this movie. I sighed so many times watching this movie with my friend who hadn't seen it before. I was just sitting there like, this is just not doing it. This movie answers the questions that is created in Prometheus, but does a horrible job doing it. And that's the problem, is the answers you are getting in Covenant are not satisfying. They don't feel like they make that much sense, and I just don't think it really adds to the whole Alien franchise. Like, the Alien movies are so quintessential, so important, and I love them so much. The first two, at least. It just makes me really sad that this is the origin story, because I feel like we didn't really need this kind of origin story. If these hadn't even been made, I wouldn't have been mad. Like, you don't really need an origin story of the aliens for it to make sense and to have a fun time watching the first one and the second one, and really any of the first four. So, you know, it's not that I don't like prequels. There's some good prequels, but this one I just don't know. I just didn't really like it. I thought it was just goofy, and it missed a lot of marks for me, and I thought the acting was mid, and I also, one thing that I really didn't like is, well, one, the script, and two, I just felt like I had no connection to the characters. Like, there were so many characters in this movie. You didn't have sympathy. You didn't have empathy for these characters because it didn't build them up enough. But it would have been way too long of a movie if they had done that. This movie's already like 2 hours. So I really didn't like the characters that were created in this movie. So it made it really hard to watch and care and give a shit about what they were doing. I'm not saying not to watch it, but don't watch it if you don't want to, because it's kind of a waste of time in my opinion. However, if you are a lover of Alien and you really want to see what it's about, watch it, because why not? But I just personally don't like it. A lot of people do. There's just a lot of controversy there, and that's okay. Nobody's gonna have the same opinion. But yeah, that was the worst one for me out of my list of movies. And that is all that I watched this week. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you've seen these movies, if you like these movies, if you disagree, if you agree. Like, that's okay. I want to have a discussion about it. So let me know what you think. And then the next video that I'm going to make is going to be on cursed horror movies. I'm going to have, I think, 4 or 5 movies that I'm going to go over. I'm going to go over The Omen, Poltergeist, The Crow, The Exorcist, The Twilight, the movie. And I think I'm just doing 5. And I have done a lot of research on those. I just need to watch the Twilight movie, which I have on VHS. And then I'll be able to create that video. So that will be next. But I just wanted to share what I watched this week. I think I'm going to try to do that on the regular, since I watch so many things. I watch multiple movies a day. I watch at least 1 movie a day. So there will be always something to talk about. So yeah, let me know what you think. And take care. I'll see you cool cats later.